storyteller this evening. She's in Chicago. We actually have 3 storytellers in the Chicago area. I don't know what's in the damn water there, but they're producing talent and storytellers up the yin yang. She is an actor, a writer, a mental health activist whose award-winning solo shows have been produced internationally. And she is, to her knowledge, wait for this because this is gold. She's the only actor to appear in both Shakespeare's Measure for Measure and Doogie Howser in the same 24 hours. Top that. Top that.
24 hours.
Please welcome Arlene Malinowski.
Let me check. Am I unmuted?
You are
Okay,
gold.
good. So, hey, all of my Chicagos, and then to the Jersey sisters. So happy that you're here. And Sean, I thought it was lovely that you did this during the week of the American Disabilities Act, which for people who don't know, this is the 30th anniversary, and it's a civil rights law that prohibits discrimination against people with disabilities. And I thought, oh, how appropriate and how fitting to do this kind of a show during the 30th anniversary week. So yay, and thank you for that. When I enter a room, a champagne aura emanates from my very being. My smile is so white bright that it's mistaken for the landing lights at O'Hare. My eyes, smize, that's an American Next Top Model reference. My golden hair swings and flutters as if a wind machine is perpetually following me around. And people use the word vivacious and exuberant. They all wonder aloud, is she Chrissy Teigen's sister, older but just as pretty? On my way out the door, I don't say goodbye or thank you for the beautiful evening. I just disappear, leaving my host to wonder what happened. I duck into a waiting car as if the paparazzi is stalking me. And then I collapse. The smile evaporates to gray, my face droops, my eyes fall back into my head, and I am bone weary from the show. The sparkly Arlene Malinowski happy-go-lucky show, because you are not allowed to show your mental illness in public, or so I believe. There is a place so far down in your mind that you don't see color. That's where I am. It's early and it's slippery outside, and one of those ashen days in Chicago when the fog feels like a permanent guest on the road. I just move at a glacial pace. Sometimes one depression hour feels like a dog years. I flip open the visor and apply a slicker of raspberry shimmer lip gloss. I'm so exhausted that I look like phlegm. But phlegm who's wearing lipstick, because lipstick can hide anything. You never see one of those actors who play sick characters wearing it, not even if they're Angelina Jolie. Besides, I have to look decent when I go to the doctors. Pretty people get better service, especially women. Look it up. Me in another psychiatrist's office. I keep my eyes to the floor like the guilty one on Law and Order. This is my Roswell 51. I know better. I have been a part of the deaf and disability community my whole life. As a hearing daughter of deaf parents, as a teacher, as an advocate and ally, I know that disability is a natural part of the human experience, that people with disabilities are not broke and don't need to be fixed. But I am ashamed that this mental illness has really just brought me to my knees. And I am silent, even to the people who love me. Now, I've always prided myself on being a sunny, optimistic, and motivated person. I've even bragged about it the way those models brag about being able to eat whatever they want and still stay delightfully emaciated. But then out of nowhere, depression just crawled into my basement window, and I found him sitting there with his feet up on my nice new mushroom-colored couch. And he decided to stay. My new psychiatrist looks like a professionally dressed Chilean sea bass. And in her office, I start weeping. And it crashes out of me like the foamy white of Niagara Falls, but then I can't stop. And it comes from this place so violent and deep and primal. She says, perhaps we should check you in just for a few days, just to get you started on some meds. Is it like a spa? No, it's not like a spa. You see, because in my mind's eye, I saw a lush, green, dimly lit room with Anya playing in the background. And not ironically, I imagined women wearing thirsty robes, sitting on lounge chairs, waiting from group. What I didn't see was Girl Interrupted. See, that's the thing about major depressive disorder. You don't think rationally. Your reality is twisted. Your judgment isn't clear. So I take my first 2 pills. They're melon-colored and shaped like kites. And I feel like a teenage girl waiting for her boyfriend to make our relationship Instagram official, because I want these meds to work and to work fast. But they don't. I tell no one about this sinkhole except for Dan, my good and my kind husband, who guards this secret like it's a magician's trick. We both know that crazy and unstable does not get hired, does not get invited to fabulous parties. We know that all crazy and unstable gets is judged, and that shames the both of us. Meds are added and taken away and tweaked again. There's pretty little yellow pills and rainbow capsules and ones that look like teensy hot dogs. Oh my God, I love them. And another one makes me feel like I'm on a tilt-a-whirl and I throw up for 24 hours straight. Some work a little, some not. I don't know anymore. My brain skates the charcoal edge of winter. Panic attacks just shake me by my throat. And then I just stop. I'd stop thinking. I stop moving. I stop being. I just can't anymore. Emails are left unread. Clothes with zippers and buttons and proper fits sit in the closet. The TV demands too much concentration but stays on like smoky, flickering ghosts in the night. Phone calls run into voicemail. The bed becomes both my shroud and my sanctuary. I look into the mirror of my medicine cabinet. I've become invisible to even myself. When is it time to find a new doctor? Until she kindly says to me, I think we should wait until this lifts. Your body's been through so much. I don't know what else we should try right now. Please don't say that. Please don't tell me that there is nothing else we can do. 6 weeks later, I get a perfunctory letter that she's moving to a city that's warm and sunny. She cheerfully wishes me good health. I hate her, that bitch. How are you? That question comes automatically from the voices and the mouths of others. Fine, I'm just fine. I reply, smiling, bubbly pink. A dozen years of acting classes, money well spent, I think to myself. I am paralyzed. I cannot work. I cannot leave my house. I don't know how to ask for help. In the darkest of my soul, I dream about Sylvia Plath and bell jarring. I hoard pills. I curse my electric oven. And then Dan does the unthinkable and betrays me. I hear him in the other room on the phone. She's clinically depressed. It's bad. We need to get her in to see someone now. I can't get an appointment anywhere. The breath is just knocked out of me. My head is swirling lurid gray. What are you doing? You can't. You promised. I was just having a bad moment. I had to tell someone, I'm scared for you. Don't you understand that they're going to tell everyone? He doesn't listen. He keeps calling and calling and calling. And then finally a friend of his brother connects him to a colleague who intercedes with the doctor who's an hour and 25 minutes away, and I'm in just like that. Dan says, he's a psychopharmacologist. They say he's a rock star. He's not taking any new patients, but he's making an exception for you, honey. I bite my tongue so hard that all I can see is the red behind my eyes. Don't you know what you've done? Everyone knows. And now you've ruined everything. I look around this new pastel waiting room, and it feels like I'm in the middle of a pharmaceutical Burning Man. The patients rock and mutter and sweat and tremble and stare glassy eye and get up for cups and cups of water to quench their medicated cotton mouths. These are the last chance people, and I'm one of them. We wait for 2 hours, and then when we finally get into his office, it looks like, oh my God, it looks like a bomb hit. There is stuff everywhere. It looks like the inside of my brain. And the doctor, he looks nice. The kind of guy you should have gone out with in college instead of chasing the bad boys who would make out with you at a party and then dump you for a girl named April at the same party. I hand him the history that Dan has so meticulously kept, and I tell him the dark side of calm. The gnawing at my brain is relentless. I can't do it anymore. All I want to do is go to sleep and never wake up again. And Dr. Last Chance leans in, and he connects with my eyes, and he says in a low, quiet voice, I know that you're in pain. We have lots of options to try. Lots and lots of alternatives. And then he starts naming off drugs and lists of combinations and maybe ECT. And when we're leaving, I throw my arms around him and I hug him hard, and he hugs me back. Now, hope. Hope is a great gift, and maybe the best of all gifts, and that's what he gave me. I slowly start to come out of it. Depression like mine just doesn't go away. It leaves quiet and surreptitiously like the honey-colored light at dusk. But then word about my breakdown just spreads quickly and at full tilt, and nobody knows what to say, so they say nothing, at least to me, and I am humiliated, beet red. But once in a while, a tiny, shiny, unexpected thing happens. A silly card shows up in the mailbox. The phone rings, and it's Karen Roth. Ken makes me apricot scones. David offers sympathetic murmurs, and then there are the others, the ones who lean in to whisper, me too. I have a mental illness too. And I wonder, why didn't I know this about you? Why didn't we know this about each other? It would have made everything so much easier. But each one of their kindnesses are like a long drink of water when I didn't even know I was thirsty. I had found my people, the ones who were there when I have a pocket of inky black depression and I can't wait to see my way out. Looking back, I realized that by loosening the shame and releasing the secret out into the blue, that saved me. And that now I am free to name it and claim it and stand to be counted. And you know what? I don't want to be Christy Teigen's older yet prettier sister. I want to be Arlene, older but braver. Thank you.
Yeah, you go, girl.
Who was that? Was that Steph?
Oh, that was Melissa. That was amazing.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to unmute yourself. If you have this burning desire to unmute yourself, I get that. You do that. It's all good. Great job, Arlene Malinowski.
Fantastic. Thank you.
This
Yeah.
is when it feels like it's 3D, just for a second. Great job.
Thank you.
Check out your comments there, Arlene.
Thank you.
That was really powerful. Man. Power, man. Power tonight. It's like, when did you start? When did you start talking about it?
I started writing this piece maybe 4 years after my diagnosis. It took me like 3 years to get off the ground out of the fetal position. Maybe 4 or 5 years I started writing. But I didn't know what the story is about. I thought the story was about this woman who had depression and then was able to go over the mountain, you know, one of those great stories, the fly over the mountain stories, run up the stair, Rocky stories. And then I realized when I was talking to people, I would say, well, it's a story about my depression, but you know what? I'm not there anymore. And I realized that the story was not about the depression. It was about the shame and the stigma that just circled around me like this black hole. And the first time that I did a reading of it in public, I remember my husband and I talking, Dan Clark, and he said, "Are you ready for people to know this about you? Are you ready for people in the theater community, in the writing community, to know this about you and to know that this may impact your ability to work?"
Sure. Yeah.
And I was like, "Baby, we're gonna make a lot of money on this show. Hell yeah."
Did you? Did you make a lot of money?
We're gonna start moving on this thing.
Oh yeah.
This thing.
I think what you said resonates. Well, several things that you've shared resonate. One of the things that's super strong for me is it obviously depends on how you craft your story or your stories and your truths. But there's so much power to not being the hero, as we often associate the hero with just, I beat it, it's all good, I'm good. Like, there's value in that, but I think most people resonate much more with, I'm wounded, this is hard, I'm trying. And
I think the other side of the mountain is a great story if that is your story.
Sure.
I absolutely say that. My story is not that. You know, I still live in pockets.
Yeah.
But to let people know that you had that challenge, and for anyone in this room who is on the other side of that mountain, I say more power to you, and I am so happy.
I agree. I think sometimes I don't want to be the guy again. I always qualify things of, well, we live in a culture that ... I do see a fair amount of everything's going to be okay. Everything's okay. You're okay. Everything is okay. We're okay. Things are okay. And I think it's really damaging for people. And I'm going to take a bit of a stand here and say, you know what? I'm certainly not, I'm not in a position to tell anybody what they need to say or not say, but you saying you're okay and you're okay too long without being okay is damaging. And I hope there's space for people to share that they're not okay always. I don't know. I'm tangenting a little bit, but it means a lot. It bothers me. Like I get why you don't want to say your things are hard. I mean, I get that, but I think it's, oh man.
I think it's really important to talk about where you are now and whatever your truth is.
Yeah.
Whether you're in the hole or trying to recover, or, you know, or medicated. Well,
whatever it is. But
Whatever it is, as long as it's your truth, I think it's cool.
yeah. And I think it's really interesting that you came to better understand that your truth was a little bit different than you might have thought it was. Like, oh, wait,
Absolutely.
no, that must have been, oh, now we're in that direction. Now we're going to roll. Now we're going there. Boom. You know?
Yeah. Being able to stand in a brave space. Yeah.
Mm. Well, thanks for sharing that.
You are so welcome. Thanks for letting me be here.
My pleasure. And it put maybe a link to your website or something in the chat, because if what you're hearing from Arlene you like, well, she teaches this stuff. She's pretty damn good at it. So
ArleneMalinowski.com. We got some great classes coming up with
Yes.
Story Jam and.
Yeah,
Thank
no,
you
but
for letting me hog the time.
pleasure.